Over the last 30 days, I undertook a grueling Nordic drop challenge to see how much improvement I could make, and after a month of dedication, I found myself at day 30 and at this moment. But before we get into the final result, let's go back to day 1, go through the game plan and discuss why, as a runner, should you care about this weird exercise in the first place. The initial plan was simple. Do Nordic drops every day for 30 days. Day 1 started with 3 sets of 5. After a warm-up with Swiss ball rollouts and long lever bridges, I made my first attempt. The result was pretty average. After reviewing the tape, I measured a drop of 27 degrees. Clearly, I needed some work. And to make matters worse, I had this pain in my knee for the remainder of the day. I solved this on day 2 by using a thick pillowcase for padding. But why am I doing this weird exercise in the first place? And what does it have to do with running smarter? Well, your hamstrings have to work pretty hard when you run, but interestingly, their peak activation isn't during the landing or propulsion phase like other muscles. Instead, they work the hardest during the swing phase. This is because your hamstrings need to activate to dramatically decelerate the swinging leg just before the foot makes contact with the ground to achieve a consistent, steady foot placement. Also, if you look carefully, during this phase, you'll see the hamstring goes from a shortened position to a lengthened position. A muscle that is under tension while lengthening is undergoing an eccentric contraction. And with this in mind, you can see why Nordic drops are perfect for building eccentric strength, and why research has shown eccentric training is really effective at reducing hamstring injury rates. Research will also show that the faster you run creates an exponential demand in the hamstrings. Compare this to the quad muscle, which remains relatively consistent throughout. This is why hamstring strains are so common in sprinters, and why I see countless hamstring tendon issues in runners who pick up their training intensity too quickly. By the way, if you don't have a Nordic T-bar, you can still do them by tucking your feet under furniture, or like I did when I was traveling, have a significant other hold your ankles. However, the creator of the Outlier Nordic T-bar would like to send you one for free. To go into the draw, you need to subscribe and then comment below on your favorite hamstring exercise, and I'll randomly select a winner once the video reaches 1,000 views. Okay, back to the challenge. After 4 consecutive days, my knees were feeling better and I had built up to 3 sets of 8 repetitions, but I needed a rest day. After that, I thought I could speed up the process if I added Swiss ball assisted Nordics, because rather than losing control really early in the rep, this modification would expose my hamstrings to a greater range of movement under control. By day 7, I was feeling strong, the quality was improving and I was feeling great. And then, the belt unexpectedly slipped and I almost face planted. This was actually encouraging because it shows I was putting in a lot more force through the belt than previously, which brought me to an exciting moment. Day 9 was reassessment day, and when reviewing the video, I had improved my range from 27 degrees to 49 degrees. This was exciting so early in my journey and gave me a ton of motivation to continue. After day 9, I made the decision to progress by adding weighted long lever bridges. But at this stage, I was getting a lot of muscle fatigue the following day. To counter this soreness, I moved to alternating Nordics with my additional exercises. Day 12, I had to do some troubleshooting. Firstly, my hamstring fatigue was building, so my rest breaks extended per set, sometimes up to 10 minutes. Also, the belt kept slipping. I wrapped it with some rubber bands and that seemed to do the trick. My plan was also frequently interrupted by Jasmine, because whenever she hears me working in the gym, she thinks it's playtime. From day 15 onwards, the muscle soreness was becoming more of an issue. Because I was getting stronger, it meant that I was working through a greater range of movement, which meant more hamstring tension per repetition. I decided to clump all of my exercises into one day and take a rest day every alternate day. This is a good lesson if you're looking for performance gains with any exercise. Lean in for this message and let it sink in. You don't get stronger during your hard workouts. Instead, you get stronger after your workouts once you give your body adequate recovery. In order for me to adapt quicker, I needed to get a better balance, hence the extra rest days. After a few days of this new routine, I was back feeling strong. Day 19 rolled around and it was time for another reassessment. I felt strong, I felt capable, and I was ready to get a tangible number to prove all of my hard work. And then my sock slipped off. Another near miss face plant. Luckily, Jasmine was nearby to make sure I was okay. After attempt number 2, I measured 52 degrees. Honestly, I was hoping to see more gains. It was only day 9 that I got 49 degrees. But I was determined to work as hard as I could through the final week and a half to get the best results possible. To make matters worse, the belt continued to slip every so often. I sent a message to the creator of the T-bar who suspects it was based on the angle of pull because my feet weren't secure against the door like its original purpose, but managed to get through the final days by lengthening the belt as far as it can go. With the frequent rest days, day 30 came around really quickly.
Okay, last day, day 30. I'm excited. I'm nervous, but let's see how we go.
After setting everything up and doing some warm-ups, I was ready to put my hamstrings to the test. Everything was set. I was feeling stronger than ever, and then the belt slipped under the leg of the weight rack. Since this had never happened before, it was a clear sign that more force was going through the belt. A clear sign of the strength I had made.
Readjustments made. Take 2.
It all came down to this: 30 days of hard work, and all that was left was to see how much my hamstrings could hold on. I was wrapped. After reviewing the tape, I had reached 60 degrees. Now I am moving on to my next 30-day challenge with the mission to help you run smarter. So look out for that in the coming weeks, and don't forget to comment on your favorite hamstring exercise to win a Nordic T-bar.